Good morning, I'm Luke Brown and today's Training Tip Tuesday. The horse that's behind me is Gunner. He's a 5-year-old Clydesdale Warmblood cross that came to me for some training for a few weeks, a couple months, and he's doing quite well. But there's an issue that he had a couple weeks ago where there was a golf cart coming down the road and it was almost dusk and it came behind him and kind of caught him by surprise. We were in the arena, but the golf cart was near us, and it surprised him and he spooked and bolted and almost fell down. Well, that's behavior that I also saw displayed out on the trail over the weekend. I rode in for the first time out on the trail in this neighborhood and down into the Queen Creek Wash, and there was a couple times where he spooked and bolted. One time it was from noise, and another time it was from a pickup and trailer driving out behind us and coming behind us, coming out of their driveway and then coming behind us, and he spooked and bolted probably close to 100 feet or so. So that was a really big spook and bolt that I'm typically not used to. Now, I did take him out a little earlier than I was planning, but it was just the situation that I wanted to take him out and ride with some other people. But what I wanted to talk about today, he wants to inch forward towards me, is paying attention to what happens on the ground when you're doing your groundwork. If you'll be just really pay attention to the behavior that he has on the ground or that he displays on the ground. That behavior a lot of times will display itself or show itself when you're riding as well. So if a horse spooks and bolts when they're on the ground, let's say you throw a clod of dirt out into a tree or something behind a horse. I've done this before where I throw a rock or a clod up into the tree up above the horse, and if they spook and bolt forward, most likely when you're riding down the trail and a bird flies out of the tree, they're going to spook and bolt forward. So if you can help your horse through some of those issues on the ground, you're going to be much safer in the saddle. So pay attention to their behavior on the ground, because if you don't fix that on the ground, it's certainly going to show up when you're under saddle, and that is much more dangerous. So he spooked and bolted and almost fell down a couple weeks ago, and if I had been on him, I'm certain he would have fallen down. He actually fell down to his butt, but kept his front feet up, and he would have fallen down if I had been on him. So it's really important to get your groundwork solid, get that foundation on the ground solid, so that when you ride them, a lot of those issues will have corrected themselves. And just pay attention, any issues he still has on the ground, if he's spooky or reactive in any way, he's probably going to do the same thing when you're under saddle, and most likely it'll be worse. So I hope that tip helped for the day. Bottom line is, get really good at your groundwork and you'll spend less time falling off your horse out on the trail. Hope you guys have a great day.